Hey everyone, I'm Sean.
Hey, I'm Brittany.
And we're the Jones family. Hey guys, just want to welcome you back to our channel and just want to encourage you that Brittany and I are here again. We've had a great week. We hope you have had a great week. Hope that you are all doing very well. Please like and subscribe to the video. It just kind of helps us out. We are hoping to get this channel up and running to be able to just have another outlet for whoever desires to watch. Last week we kind of talked about who we are and the whole reason why we're doing this. And the main reason that our heart is set to for this YouTube channel is to simply help people, to maybe shed some encouragement, some light out there, and also because we live in a world where everybody's on the internet, we use YouTube so frequently. So we hope that this episode will build you up also and teach you maybe a few things that we've been through that could help you. And today's session is on healthy singleness. Everybody in the world has experienced singleness at one point or another, and we believe it's a very important topic. We believe it's very healthy to talk about, and we're going to kind of give some experience with us about our single experience now that we're married. We've been married for almost 2 years, and just to have our lives out there, just to maybe help a few people out there. So, honey, what do you think about singleness?
I think singleness is great.
Yeah, me too.
And not a lot of people say that about singleness. Singleness gets such a bad rap out there.
Yeah.
Like on TV shows, in movies,
yeah,
pretty much everywhere, in books even. Like the single people, the people who aren't dating anybody are always seen as the lonely people, the losers, the ones that are missing out, the ones that
aren't
having they're not happy, they're not having any fun. And I think that is such a lie, and it's not healthy to teach, especially young people. Especially if you're a teenager or you're in college, and you're young, under 30, and you're still single, even over 30, and you're single. Like, it's okay to be single.
It's more than okay to be single.
Yeah.
And it's way worse. We talked about this before the video started. It is way worse to be with the wrong person than to be single. It's not even a bad thing to be single. It's a good thing to be single. Many divorces happen because of people not being content with being single, and then they rush into this relationship, even if they're not married and they do not tie the knot. They rush into this relationship and it's on again, off again, on again, off again. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they're not just simply content with being single.
Yeah.
And so, we want to speak to that issue to maybe help a few people to not be rushing into a relationship that they don't need to be in, that they can get fulfillment other places, that they could be happy in other avenues of life without feeling like they need to be with somebody in that kind of a relationship. There's so many other ways, and there's something to really, really think about.
And I think our culture is... It's put out that idea that you can't be happy unless you're married, or unless you're dating someone, or unless your relationship looks just like what social media says.
Yeah.
I remember being in college, and we'll share a little bit about our own personal struggle with this, and I did not navigate singleness very well until I learned a lot of different things. But I remember being in college, and it was before I met Sean, and I would scroll on Facebook, and I've always been friends with people who were way older than me, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years older than me.
Me too.
And I would get on social media, just getting on to scroll for a minute or whatever, And it seemed like every time I got online, there was another person going on a date, another person getting engaged, another person getting married.
Another person's ring.
Yeah, and it was like this constant...
Another person's honeymoon.
Yeah, it's like
vacation.
This constant cycle of, you know, hey, look at me, I'm so happy, I'm on a date. And it's true, like, you know, there's a lot of happiness when you're dating the right person. You know, when I met Sean, it was awesome, and I knew he was the one, and hopefully we'll do a video on that later. But, like, I didn't realize that I thought that I was missing out on what these people were experiencing, and I was like, well, I need that.
Yeah.
I need that. And so through the first probably two and a half years of college, I wanted to be in a relationship so badly that I never really dated anybody, but I would feel so lonely if I wasn't trying to pursue like this relationship with somebody. And, you know, the first guy that would come along and pay me attention and would show up at church or show up at life group or at Bible study or, you know, even in class, and they were actually a nice guy, like, I would start to immediately go through that cycle of
the scenario in our heads.
Yeah, of, oh, maybe they'll be like the one, you know? And that whole ideal that society has created, it's not bad necessarily, but we've gotten so out of balance where we're not enjoying us as our single selves, you know, as much, and we think that we have to have another person that we're dating to feel good about life.
Yeah.
And I think it's really
just
bad.
So many of us, if we're not careful, we will force the relationship to happen. We will try too hard. We'll think too much about it. We'll compare ourselves to other people. We will, you know, do all kinds of things to try to gain somebody's direction towards us, and we just do not need to do that. When I met Brittany, I didn't really try hard. I just met her. I was actually doing dishes at my friend's house, and there she walked in, and you know, we just started talking. I remember sensing that I shouldn't try to be anybody other than who I am. I remember thinking that I need to just be myself, and then if she doesn't like me, well, then that's who I am, and that's okay if this is not the right one. And it really just came out of a place of patience and contentment that I had, and now that we're married, that I still have, and that Brittany still has. We understand now that we're married, and she is not my source. As beautiful as she is and as awesome as she is not my source for fulfillment, for peace, for joy. She's my wife. I love her dearly. She is the number one person in my life that I absolutely care about and cherish with all of my heart. But my peace and my joy, it comes from a relationship with God, with Jesus. That's the same with her. I remember before I was a Christian, I remember trying to embark on these relationships, and it's like they were my God. I mean, if things didn't go right with them, I was downcast. I had a bad day. I needed them to make me feel validated. I needed them to make me feel fulfilled. I needed them to make me feel good about myself. And now I'm grateful that we're married. But in that place of singleness that I had to get to, it really was, I would say, 2 years before I met you that I was completely at peace. I was patient. I remember saying as well that if I don't ever get married, that I've been given life, I've been given clothing, food, water, shelter, a career. I have purpose, and all that stuff isn't dependent on if I'm single or if I'm not single.
Right.
And then from that point of fulfillment, I was able to enter into a healthy relationship without putting all this pressure on Brittany that she needs to be that fulfillment for me, because what that does is that puts all of this unnecessary pressure on her that she was never designed to do. Does she make me happy? Yes. Does she help me in every way? Yes. But I'm coming into this marriage and into our relationship already full, where then I can give to Brittany. I can give to her. I could serve her. And if she doesn't act a certain way one day, then I will not be throwing a fit and getting all upset. And then she has running around room, she has wiggle room to kind of make some mistakes or to say the wrong thing because I'm already fulfilled. And I know the same goes with her to me.
I was going to comment and say that for me, a year before we met is when I kind of had this, I guess, light bulb or aha moment where and with through the Lord as well, and through just counsel with different women in my circle, where I started to realize that you can't be in a successful relationship if you don't first know who you are and know your identity and learn how to love and enjoy just being with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't love Sean. I couldn't be prepared for meeting my future husband, because a lot of times that's our goal, right? It's, you know, I want to find my spouse. I want to find the person that I'm supposed to be with for the rest of my life. And you can't be ready for that unless you're fulfilled in who you are. And I had to learn who I was, and that was through my relationship with God. It was cultivated in me to learn, like, it's okay to be alone on a Friday night. It does not mean that you're any less than the girl who is going out with her boyfriend.
Don't force it. We have spent so many lonely before we really got that contentment Friday and Saturday nights.
Right.
And it's okay. Those are good times. They are great times. And you know, a lot of people that are in a relationship, almost sometimes they look back and say, that was kind of nice sometimes. And, and that's okay too. And just one thing that she touched on regarding identity. We want to do some more sessions on identity as well, really hit that home. I just want to encourage you out there that if you're watching this, you are created by God and you are beautiful no matter what commercials or the world says that a beautiful person is, whether you are 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds. I mean, God loves you and He created you how you are. And don't think that you need to be like somebody else and you need to dress like somebody else and you need to smell like somebody else and you need to have somebody else's car and you need to have this kind of hairstyle. Be yourself, and I promise you be yourself. God will point you and lead you to the right one, like He has led me to Brittany, and He has led Brittany to me. Sometimes I struggle speaking.
Brittany.
Brittany. And so, you know, there's certain things that I like to dress up sometimes. I like to, you know, wear a collared shirt. I like to look half decent, of course. But I love Brittany because even when we were dating, you know, I could wear jeans and a t-shirt and I didn't need to think I need to go to the mall and buy all this expensive stuff to look cool for her. It was just not like that. And that's, you know, there's people going into debt because they are trying to put on this appearance like I need to be this certain way. And listen, if you are getting into a relationship like that and that person, you feel like you need to do all this stuff and wear yourself out to have this person be interested in you, stop wasting your time and energy and be yourself and let that person love you how you are, and then you'll be free.
And we're gonna do a whole video on dating specifically, and you know, our story and our take on all of that and how to successfully navigate that. But honey, like, you know, we both struggled with singleness for a time. And then it's funny how a year before we both met each other, we both had that aha moment, that moment where it clicked, where, you know what, I don't need to be in a relationship to be satisfied, to have, to like you were saying, to have joy, to have peace.
And it gets exhausting.
It does. And so
it just gets exhausting.
We both came to a point where we threw our hands up and we said, you know what, I'm not going to look anymore. I'm not going to try hard anymore. When it happens, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen, but I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And I kind of want to just hit on this real quick before we get to the end of this little video. And like, we could talk about this probably for hours and get really in depth, but
we'll do more.
Practically, to the men out there watching this, the young men, gentlemen out there who are watching this, who are maybe single and they're struggling in it, and they just want to find a good girl, and they seem like they just can't find it, and they're really unhappy. What is some practical advice that you would give them, that you figured out that year before you met me, that caused you to be so content?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first answer has to be 1,000%. I know that everybody watching may not be Christians. I know that there may be some people watching here that are atheist or Muslim or Buddhist or whatever, and we completely respect you. We love you.
Yeah, we love you so much.
We believe that God loves you, and so, but because we are Christians, because I'm a Christian, the number one thing that I will say that caused me to be content in singleness and even now married, it's my relationship with Jesus Christ. I wasn't always a Christian. I've been a Christian for 8 years, and I'm 33 now. I used to think people that believed in him were crazy. And so it's my relationship with Jesus that gives me such peace and fulfillment. So guys out there, I would say that if you've never really sought him honestly, I would encourage you to do that. The Bible says that if we draw near to God, that he'll draw near to us. In other words, if we seek him, he'll make himself real to us. And that's a whole different thing than just going to church 1 hour a week. It's a whole different thing than just raising your hand and saying, yes, I am a Christian, and kind of it's more of a political standpoint or whatever the case may be. So that's number one. Number two is do not settle for the wrong woman. Don't let her outward appearance make you feel like, okay, this is the one because she's just so beautiful. And that leads so many men astray. You could have this woman out there that looks absolutely appealing to your eye, but on the inside, her personality is absolutely not loving. It's not caring. You can't really trust her. You know, she flirts with other guys. Listen, do not settle. Do not waste your time, men. This time is short on the earth. Life is going to go like that. It's going to go very fast. Do not waste your time. Look for the inward beauty of the heart. Look for the woman that you feel like would be a great wife and that you could see being a great mother one day. Look for the woman who has a kind and compassionate heart. Look for the woman that you feel like you can go away for a weekend where you would not have a thought like, oh, is she going to be texting another guy, or is she going to be interested in somebody else? Be patient with this. And another practical step to take would be when you're going out on dates with this woman, you know, talk about these things. You know, present what you like to do, present what you want out of life, and then have her present what she wants out of life. And if you feel like you're compatible, you'll start to sense it. You'll have peace about it. I always say, and I believe too, not even just as a Christian, but I believe peace can be our barometer. It could really be that gauge to, is this a good thing or not? And the last point that I will say practically that will be very good to help you, men, in your singleness and in your pursuit of a relationship is, there's a saying, that's actually a proverb, that says that a plan with many advisors is sure victory. That when we have mentors in our lives, or if we have somebody above us that we look up to, maybe a coach or maybe a teacher of some sort, or just a friend, maybe even a family member that have been there, that they have more experience than us, that they have a lot more wisdom than us. We need to allow them to speak into our lives, to be able to say, where you call them on the phone and you're talking to them and say, hey, listen, I've been dating this girl, and this is her name, and this is, what she's like, and allow them to speak into your life. Allow them to share what they need to share, and be willing to take correction, and be willing to be able to hear from somebody that says, hey, listen, I don't think this is the right one for you. Please be patient. Don't rush into this, and just be willing to adapt and to really listen. Do not pull the trigger too quick. And there's many other practical points, but I'll just leave it at that. Try not to let your heart out too fast. Be patient. Be cautious. So those are some of the points that I would say are most helpful.
Yeah, those are really good. And for the women watching this, wherever you're at in life, as you're walking through singleness, I would say the exact same things. But I would also add to enjoy just being with yourself. In college, I really if I could go back and redo that time of singleness where I was struggling, I would absolutely go back and spend more time with friends. I would invest more in the girlfriends that I had, the girls that were in my circle that I could have gained a lot more from, that I could have spent more time with. Spend time with other women. Go shopping. Go to an art class. Go to a dance class. Get involved in hobbies. Do things now that cultivate, your interest, because
so you won't be codependent later on.
Yeah, and two, you're not gonna when you get married, you're not gonna have as much time for that stuff. And also, coming from a Christian perspective, if you're a Christian and you're watching this, and again, we love anyone on here that's not watching that's watching this that's not a Christian. We love you. For the Christian women, take time to spend in the word with the Lord, in prayer. Let God cultivate your heart as a woman. Let Him teach you about who you are, and enjoy that time. Get involved in church. Get involved in a mission, some sort of thing in your community. Volunteer. Go play with puppies at the animal shelter. Just do things. Yes, do things by yourself that you enjoy and you love to do. And just enjoy that time, because you're not going to get that ever again. If you're in school, focus on your education, take your classes, study, do really well. You don't need a relationship to fulfill you.
Yeah, and also we don't need to have our relationships look exactly like other people's.
Yes.
Listen, if you can't go to Hawaii for a week, and other people do, don't let that make you think that your relationship isn't as good and it isn't as promising. And also, of course, do not go after people because of money. Money will not make you happy. It will not make you fulfilled. A lot of people, I feel like they dive into relationships because they're like, okay, he has a nice car, he has a nice bank account, he's got a nice house, he'll be able to take care of me. And a lot of times the money thing, it's not a direct sign. Of course, you want to be cautious about that, but you don't want somebody just sitting around. But
and we'll talk more about that and dating, and we might do a part 2 of all this, but of dating and everything. But we hope that this was some practical advice for you. We said you could go really deep into this topic. If there's anything that we missed or that you have questions about, please feel free to comment down below. Our email is also going to be in the link in the description box if you privately want to shoot us an email and ask us more questions. Maybe you're in a certain situation and you need some advice. We would love to answer questions for you and just be here to listen and support you and pray for you as well. But we hope you found this informative. I don't have anything else to give other than just be yourself and enjoy the time alone. Because once you get married, once you get into a relationship and you join together, you're not gonna have that time. So, do you have anything else to say?
I would just say that the last thing we'll end with is I want to reaffirm that you are beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't need to look like somebody else. You don't need to act like somebody else. You are beautiful. God created you how you are. He loves you, and He sees you, and He sees your value. And I really pray that you will understand that more and more every day, because once you know that He says how valuable you are to Him, then you'll be able to get your validation and your fulfillment from Him, and then you'll be fulfilled before you even meet somebody.
Yeah.
And that's
So true.
that's our heart. And we hope that this helped, and we hope that you have a great week. And we love you, and we'll talk to you soon. And we'll do another episode very soon as well. So.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya.